Hi, welcome to another video. So, I have been talking about MiniMax models quite a bit recently, and now they have moved to MiniMax M3, which is honestly a much bigger update for coding and longer agentic tasks. But today, I do not just want to talk about the model. I want to talk about the actual workspace MiniMax is building around it, because this is starting to look less like another chatbot and more like one place where you can build apps, work with your files, generate media, automate repetitive tasks, and even have multiple agents work as a team. This is MiniMax Agent, and the desktop app is now called MiniMax Code. Also, before we get into the demos, there is a useful offer for you guys. If you subscribe to the MiniMax Token Plan through my link in the description, you get 12% off, and I get token rewards as well. So it supports the channel, but more importantly, it lets you try the same M3 and multimodal workflow that I will show in this video for less. So let's get right into it. The big idea with MiniMax Agent is quite simple. Most of us have ended up with too many AI tools. One subscription for coding, one for image generation, one for music, one for video, another one for voice, and then you still have to move the output between tools and somehow keep the project organized. MiniMax is trying to combine that into an AI-native workspace. The important part is that it is no longer just a coding plan for a language model. A single subscription can include access to MiniMax M3 for coding and reasoning, Haluo for video generation, speech for voice, music, and image generation. So instead of paying separately for something like a coding model, an image generator, a music generator, and a text-to-speech service, the idea is that you can run all of those capabilities through one MiniMax plan and one agent workflow. The updated token plan now has 3 main tiers. Plus is $20 per month with around 5.1 billion tokens, and Ultra is $120 per month with around 9.8 billion tokens. The billing is also much easier to understand now. Your token plan quota is used first. If you go beyond what your subscription includes, or you use a resource outside of that quota, available MiniMax credits can cover the extra usage. So it is subscription first, credits as fallback. Obviously, what exact media limits you get depends on the plan you choose. Not every tier gives you the same amount of video, image, speech, or music generation, but the overall approach is great. Coding and multimodal generation now sit inside the same subscription system. Now, let's talk about the brain behind all of this, which is MiniMax M3. This is not being positioned as a basic chat model. It is specifically made for complex agent work, software engineering, tool calling, web research, office productivity, reusable skills, long context coding, and long tasks where the model has to keep working, instead of giving you one paragraph and stopping. According to MiniMax, M3 is their coding and agentic frontier model, and it brings 3 things together: strong coding performance, up to a 1 million token context window, and native multimodality. That context window is the part I really want to highlight. MiniMax says the M3 API supports up to 1 million tokens, with a guaranteed minimum of 512K tokens. That is a huge jump from the previous generation, and it matters a lot for long-range agent tasks, large code bases, long documents, and even long video understanding. They also claim strong autonomous browsing and information retrieval performance, with M3 scoring 83.5 on BrowseComp, ahead of Opus 4.7 in their comparison. And they show some very long-running examples, like reproducing an ICLR paper over nearly 12 hours and optimizing a CUDA kernel over roughly 24 hours. Now, obviously, these are MiniMax's own published examples, so I would still want to test it myself before making huge claims. But the direction is exactly what I like to see. A model built for long horizon agent work, not just quick chat replies. And I think that distinction matters. If you only want to ask a quick question, there are hundreds of tools that can do that. But if you want an agent to read a workspace, create assets, change files, call tools, run a task for a while, and deliver something complete, then the underlying model has to be good at much more than chat. Now, this brings us to MiniMax Code, which is the desktop app designed specifically around M3, and this is the version I find the most interesting because it can work where your actual files live. With a web chatbot, you are constantly uploading files, downloading results, dragging things around, and re-explaining the same project. With MiniMax Code, you choose a local workspace and tell it what you need. It can organize local files, batch process documents, convert formats like PDF, DOCX, and Excel, and continue working with the same project context. It also has persistent memory, so it can remember your habits, your preferences, and your projects over time, and it can generate custom skills around the work you repeatedly do. But the major new feature is agent teams. For a simple task, one agent can just do the work. For a bigger task, MiniMax Code can assemble an agent team with different responsibilities. One can handle planning, another can implement, another can research, and another can verify the final result. The interesting part is that MiniMax describes this as a producer plus verifier harness. So one part of the team is producing the work, and another part is reflecting, checking, correcting, and pushing the task forward. It is not just a static pipeline where step 1 always goes to step 2 and step 3. It can adjust priorities while the task is running. This is important because one agent doing a very long task can easily drift or miss something. If you ask it to research a company, build a dashboard, verify numbers, design the UI, and produce a presentation all in one giant session, it may do some parts well and forget other parts. With agent teams, the task can be broken into actual roles. That makes much more sense for work that needs coding, research, and checking at the same time. MiniMax Code also supports computer use. Because M3 is natively multimodal, it can observe the screen, understand the UI state, click type, switch apps, handle pop-ups, and work across local software even when there is no API. That is a very different workflow from a normal coding assistant. So, let me show you the first real use case. Let's say I'm a freelancer or a small entrepreneur, and I want to create a landing page for an AI resume screening service. I do not want a mock-up. I want a clean website, a candidate upload flow, an employer dashboard, and a way to compare candidates. Inside MiniMax Code, I pick an empty workspace and type something like, "Build a modern landing page and working dashboard for a resume screening product. Let employers upload resumes, extract skills, compare candidates in a table, and export a short hiring summary as a PDF. Make it responsive and ready to demo." Now watch what makes this different from a normal website generator. M3 can create the full-stack application from the text prompt with the UI and actual functionality. It can use integrated image and visual search capabilities to make the page feel more complete, rather than giving me a blank dashboard with generic placeholder boxes. Then, I can add an agent team task. Review this application like a real client delivery. Test the upload flow, check the mobile layout, find any broken states, and prepare a short launch report. Now I am not just generating a page. I am getting the building, the editing, and the validation inside the same workspace. This is a really good use case if you are a freelancer. You can create productized landing pages, client dashboards, internal tools, or small SaaS prototypes much faster, and you can actually show a functional result rather than a Figma screenshot. Now, the second use case is for creators, and this is where the token plan being multimodal becomes quite interesting. Let's say I'm launching a mini course about building AI applications. Normally, I might use one AI tool to write the landing page, another tool for the thumbnail image, another for the trailer video, another for background music, and another to make a voiceover. Here, I can start with one project inside MiniMax Agent and say, create a launch kit for my AI app course, build a simple course landing page, generate 3 thumbnail directions, produce a 6-second video promo concept, create background music for the trailer, and write a natural voiceover script. The agent can use its image generation to make the thumbnail options, Halo video for the short visual, music for a backing track, and speech for the voice version. All of that is part of the same MiniMax model ecosystem, instead of me bouncing through 5 separate subscriptions. Then, because this is still an agent, I can say, put the approved images into the website project, rewrite the hero copy to match the final trailer, and generate a PowerPoint deck I can send to potential partners. MiniMax Agent has skills for Word documents, Excel workbooks, PowerPoint decks, and PDFs. It can create files, use templates, extract data, fix formatting, build charts, export results, and handle OCR-style document parsing. That is the part that I think people may underestimate. Multimodal is not just a funny image button next to a chatbot. When it is inside an agent workspace, the image, video, audio, document, and code outputs can all become pieces of the same deliverable. So if you are a creator, an agency, or someone selling digital products, this can save a ridiculous amount of switching between tools. Now, not everyone wants a desktop application, and MiniMax has options there too. If you prefer the simpler existing experience, you can still use MiniMax Agent Web for general agent tasks and building projects, or MiniMax Code when you want the desktop app. On the web side, they also have Max Hermes and Max Claw. Max Hermes is their cloud-hosted version of Hermes Agent, now fitting into this newer MiniMax model direction, so you get an always-on agent without setting it up locally. Max Claw brings an OpenClaw-style personal assistant into MiniMax Agent on the web and can be available through daily apps like Telegram, Discord, and Slack. So, the web side is useful if you want something cloud-hosted and available from messaging apps. But personally, MiniMax Code is the exciting part for me, because having agent teams, computer use, memory, local files, and project work directly on the desktop makes it feel much closer to an actual workspace. Now, there's one thing I want to be clear about. I would not say that every person should immediately delete every existing AI subscription. You may still prefer a particular model or a specialist application for a particular task, and a complex agent team will obviously use more resources than one tiny prompt. But if your work combines coding, document creation, web research, visual generation, audio, video, and repeated workflows, this is a genuinely compelling all-in-one setup. MiniMax is not making you pick between a coding plan and a creative plan anymore. M3, multimodal models, the agent, the API, and the desktop workflow are now part of one bigger system. And for me, that is the interesting shift. You are no longer collecting random AI tools. You are designing agents that can work for you, and you can keep improving those workflows over time. So if you want to try the features I showed in this video, check out MiniMax through the link below. You can try MiniMax Agent, download MiniMax Code for macOS or Windows, and if you subscribe to the token plan through my unique link, you will get 12% off while I receive token reward. The token plan starts with the Plus tier at $20 per month, and it gives you a very practical way to try M3 together with MiniMax's image, video, speech, and music capabilities in the same workflow. Overall, I think this is a really interesting direction. A good model is useful, but a good model inside a workspace that can actually handle code, files, media, automations, and teams is much more powerful. So this is pretty amazing, to be honest. Overall, it's pretty cool. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, consider donating through the Super Thanks option or becoming a member by clicking the Join button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.